In this video, which is part 13 of how to create a custom candlestick chart in Chart.js, we're going to work on the labels of the crosshair, but in this case, the bottom label, where you can see here, June 3, 2022. And you can see as we move or hover over the next item, it will show us the nice labels. Let's start to look how to do this. So let's start to look now at the next part where we're going to work on putting down here a label. So to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down here and we're going down very close to the crosshair. We have here the crosshair. And let's see, we should do it within this area here. And what I'm going to do is, because we have here these colors, I'm going to duplicate this, or basically just below here, I'm going to put in here the crosshair. And if this is crosshair for the left side, then we have another crosshair label for the bottom. And then what we're going to say here, we have to create a new shape. So we're going to say here CTX begin path. And I see I have this double here. I don't know why. Sorry about that. And then what we need to have here next is a CTX.fill rectangle. In this case, we have a slightly more challenge, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that the width of this rectangle will be based on the text that we have. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say here fill rect, and then we're going to just put in the first value that we know we need, which is I want to put it based on the x-axis value or wherever we are located. So I'm going to say here x.getPixel for value, and then what I want to do here is I want to get the tooltip data, tooltip.data points. And we're going to get here index 0, and normally we get the raw.c, but now I don't want the c, but what I want is here the x value. Why x? Because the x will indicate the date, and that is how we distinguish, this is the x item here, this is how we distinguish the scale at the very bottom here. So that is the most important one, and then we have the first one done. Then the next one is, of course, we have to calculate here the position of where we want to put it down. So if I want to put it down here, I need to calculate what is the height of this plus the very top here. In this case, the top is probably neglectable because there's no legend, but if you would have a legend, in that case there is a top. So to avoid any mistakes, we always put in the top plus height. That would always make sure that we have always this item, even if there would be a legend or there would be a title, there would be something else above here that might impact it. So we're going to say here top plus height, comma, and then we're going to say here what is the ending, or how many pixels in width will it be. In this case we need to get a text, so what I'm going to say here first 20, and then after the height could be 24, because we probably assume that the font size will be 12 pixels. So 12 pixels, that's then 24 pixels. You have up and bottom, the top, the upper part and the bottom part has enough space to play around with. Let's save this first and just see how this looks like. So if I do this here, you can see here, we're getting something. And now what we need to do is we need to figure out how can we calculate the height of the font and make sure that the font here or the rectangle improves. So for that, what I'm going to do here is we can just do it here, just here below, that's fine. And I'm going to say here constant, and I'm going to say here text width, because I need to measure the text width. And to do that, I need a special CTX command, which is called ctx.measure text. And in here, we're going to put in the text. So if I would say here, for example, hello, it will calculate how many pixels. If I do this in width, it will calculate how many pixels this is. And then of course we can put it in here. So if I save this here, there you are. You can see here now this looks almost identical, but if I extend this now like longer, save, refresh, you can see here it automatically extends as well. You do notice for some reason that when I do this, something changes within here. That's interesting. At least the labels move down a little bit. It should not be, I don't know what it is, but I'll ignore that for now because it's just a tiny issue that's not really that big of a problem. What we want to do here now is, of course, get the value here. What is the value? Well, that should be this item. I'm going to grab this and put that in here. Save, refresh. So now we get this, and this should be probably enough because it will say not only June 8, but it will grab June 8, 2022, because we're grabbing the title up here, basically, or what is in the well, in the X of the item. So that is like that. So I will accept that one, because if you would have a year or multiple years, then having the year specified in the tooltip can be, or in the label here, in the crosshair label, that can be quite useful. So let's do that one, or let's maintain this. But now what I want to do is I want to have the text as well. So we have here one part of the text, but this is for the right, for the left side, and you might want to put it up here. But I notice if I put it up here, the color, there might be a conflict here, or there's some conflict. So what I'm doing here now is creating my own version, or just put it here down, without the need of redefining this color. And the reason why, if I put this down, what happens, it converts somehow to the white color, and it doesn't want to get this specific color here, that one, even if I specify it. So I'm working, I find another way to do it then, and what it is just basically like this here. So I'm going to grab here all of these font details are fine, and I realize we probably can make a function out of it later on. So that's probably a nice useful thing we can do as well. So what I'm going to say here is we can just grab this, put that in here, and then we're going to say here, I'm going to remove all of this here. I don't want all of this. We don't need that. Here should be the text, which is this tooltip raw X, which specifies the day, month, and year. And then we're going to get here the position. Alright, so for this position, we have to look here what would be the proper position for this. Let's see, this could be probably just the get pixel. So we're going to grab this item. I'm going to grab that, put it in here, and let me just remove all of this first. So we have here the X, and this would be the Y here. So this is the Y, and then for the X, I'm going to put in this here, get pixel for value for that one, which is the vertical level, or sorry, horizontal level. That's the horizontal level, to be clear. And this is here now for the vertical, and the vertical would be based on most likely this here. And then what we could do here is say maybe plus 12. Why plus 12? Because we have the font size specified at plus 12 as well. Save, refresh. Let's see if this works. Alright, so we get now something, and interestingly enough, I'm getting a unexpected value here. Tooltip data point raw X. And I did not expect this to be a item here. Alright. I'm going to show you why this is. Most likely we are working with the wrong data. I want to get the label itself. Well, we'll fix that later on. What I want to do first is to what I want to do is I want to make sure that this part is in the center, and then after the text should be also positioned well in the center. Let's do that first. So what we're going to do here is most likely we have the width, text width, and this text width, I think that will be maintained there, but this one here needs to be properly set. We have here the text width, and then we have here, what I want to do is I want to say here minus text width divide by 2. So I want to divide this by 2, so we get the center part. Save that, refresh. There we are. Alright, so we grab this, but you can see here we only get the millisecond. So I want to make sure that this works, and to make sure you understand what this truly does is we need to check here. This one we need to be probably adjusted, or this inside here. But I'm going to show you what I need. So I'm going to say here, we go in the tooltip, because I want to get the label, and I guess I get the wrong item here. We get the milliseconds, and I don't want that. So if I hover over this here, we click on this, and what I need is let's look for it, because I get probably here the raw data points. Alright, here, and if I go in here, what we grabbed was the raw X, which is this milliseconds. I don't want this. What I need is label. It's this one here. So data points index 0 label. Let's copy that. Data point index 0 dot label, and then here we can just put that in there as well. Save, refresh, open, and like that. There we are. So this works, but I'm not satisfied. Look at the bottom. You can see that the font or the box is just too narrow, or it's just perfect fit. And I don't like that. I want some padding or margin around that. So what I'm going to do is, for the width here, very simple. We just say here, plus 10 pixels. I think that will be fine. Refresh. There we are. That looks absolutely stunning here and absolutely phenomenal. So that's one of the things. And in the next video, we're going to work on fixing again the moving average. I got a comment, and a comment indicated that we should have the moving averages that's probably existing in a API or somewhere else, in some source, and I just want to have then a basic line that should just draw it. We don't have to recalculate that. It doesn't make any sense. So I thought that's a fair comment, and we have to make that one. Next video, we're going to cover that.